Oh, hello there. Yes, it's Saturday. Pussycat has come in, pleased to say. There he is. You can just about see him. Here, looking out, wondering when the birds are going to get up. They're chirping away. It's cold out there. Too cold for Pussycat. Anyway, today I'd like to talk about Westminster, Scotland and Gender Reform Act that the Scots were attempting to bring in, which was squashed, sat on, discarded by Westminster, using powers that they've never used before in 25 years to throw out a piece of legislation. Not so much that they've thrown out a piece of legislation, it perhaps was to be expected. We have a government on the ropes, and what better than kicking down on a tiny percentage of a population? Yes, less than 0.5% of the population who pose an enormous threat to everything that we hold dear, apparently. Yeah, can't talk about Brexit, can't talk about COVID, can't talk about inflation, can't talk about poverty, can't talk about the NHS, can't talk about climate change, can decide to have a go at a tiny percentage of people in the population. Anyway, Alistair Jack has declined to go and see anyone in Scotland in terms of the Scottish Parliament and explain exactly why he's taken the decisions that he has, which is treating any form of democratic process with a level of contempt which is perhaps quite brazen even for this lot. Yeah. Another person that has refused to go to Scotland and answer any questions is Kemi Badenoch. I always think of her as Bad Enoch because I think it neatly sums her up. Anyway, she's also declined to go and discuss gender reform in Scotland with the Scottish Parliament because why would she bother? After all, she's just the Women's and Equalities Minister. Yeah, no point in doing that. Instead, she's managed to find time in the Times to have a lovely kind of jokey sort of interview about oh, it's so much fun being a minister. And that's firewalled, so I don't know quite what's going on there. But if the Mail reporting on it is anything to go by, there is not a word about the other big dangerous sexualities story of the week, which of course is David Garrick from the Met. Doesn't manage to find any time to discuss how dangerous Met officers are, or indeed what bits of paper they have to do what they do for decades in terms of abusing women. The arguments about squashing the Gender Reform Act in Scotland are at best spurious. You might be somebody that doesn't really like trans people. Okay, fine, that's your choice. But don't really come out with spurious arguments about dangerous individuals in a week when the Met is kind of thinking that maybe because this has happened yet again, that they might think about doing things slightly differently. Whereas with Scotland, dealing with a group of people who pose no threat to anybody in real terms, because you have to really look hard for any sense of real threat around these kind of things. They can't do that because we wouldn't be in line with them. I mean, various other European countries aren't in line with us, so are we going to stop people at the airports from those countries? Don't think so. This is all rather distasteful, and as I say, I think it shows a level of contempt for any form of democratic process, which is really quite astounding. And if I was a Scottish person, I might just vote to leave. Still, that's their choice, eh? Never mind, we can let Scotland go, because then we have a built-in Conservative majority for the rest of the UK. Because, you know, we don't mind losing Northern Ireland as well. We don't really mind losing Wales. It'll just be England, and we can sit and fester with our own little Brexit heaven, where there are no rights for trans people because they're so dangerous, and will be policed by people that, you know, might well be sexual predators, but there again, they might not be, let's face it. Yes, anyway, have a lovely weekend. Probably going to do something about policy exchange tomorrow. They're a bit of an odd group. Anyway, I'll speak to you later.